Okay, hello there. This is very different. I'm streaming earlier than usual, very, very early, because it's 9 o'clock in the morning right now. But things are happening that are beyond my control. I'm technically on standby from work, so things are happening. So might as well get some work out of the way and we'll go from there. But in like 40 minutes, I definitely got to go check in just to be on the safe side, but I'm currently on standby for the entire day. There's a mission happening and they don't need me right now. So we're gonna get as much work as we can possible. Tomorrow I cannot stream because I'm gonna be doing to be a busy work day. I'm gonna be pretty much busy the whole entire day. And instead of coming into streaming hours. So again, this is a very weird stream. We're gonna do as much work as we can because we're not falling behind, but it's best that we do as much as we can with the little period that we have. So we'll get right to it. So if I remember correctly, we were working on what were we talking about yesterday? Okay, we were talking about that. All right. Self-doubt. Okay. So I think today should be awareness and dread. It is awareness and dread. I might outline up actually for once, so I think we're good. Okay, awareness and dread. Should be pretty straightforward. Okay. I do have to address an elephant in the room soon, but let me just get started with this, then we'll actually get into that. So awareness and dread. What do I want to do here? There's a moment in every horror game. There's a moment in every horror game. There's a moment in every horror game where you stop. No, when you stop reacting. When you stop reacting and start anticipating. Okay, that's good. There's a moment in every horror game where you stop reacting and start anticipating. Pretty much it's when you start getting into your comfort zone. When you start getting into the groove. You've learned the rules. You've learned the rules. The patterns, especially in FNAF. The patterns and behavior of the world around you. There we go. There's a moment in every horror game where you stop reacting and anticipating. You've learned the rules, the patterns, and the behavior of the world around you. What do I want to do here? Let's be a little bit descriptive here. You know that creak in the floorboard means something is close. You know the creak of the floorboards. Somebody's near. You know which hallway. Oh yeah, especially this is definitely for me. You know which hallway is one that you have to avoid. Again, I mentioned this a lot with the eastern wing of Spencer Mansion. After the L-shaped hallway, yeah, Hell Hall is stupid. That whole little first floor section outside the shotgun room is like terrible. You know which hallway. You know which hallway. You know which hallway to avoid and devised alternate paths to avoid it. And I can't stress it enough. That hallway, as you progress through the mansion, is just terrible. Begin memorizing. You begin memorizing. Their piercing screams. We all know the scream. If I could actually spell. And yet none of that knowledge helps. And yet none of that knowledge helps. Work is not texting me, so we're still in the clear. So let's see what we got so far. There's a moment in every horror game where you stop reacting and start anticipating. You've learned the rules, the patterns, the behavior of the world around you. You know that creak of the floorboard means something is near. You know which hallway to avoid and devise alternative paths to avoid it. You begin memorizing the pattern of the animatronics to avoid their piercing screams. And yet, none of that knowledge helps. Alright, we're good. Okay, alright, so elephant in the room. This channel, yes, this channel is a hobby at the end of the day. It's for fun. Like, I have a lot of fun doing this channel. It definitely takes away from the stresses of IRL work, because IRL work does get pretty stressful. So it's definitely something to do to unwind at the end of the day. So I have fun doing it. It's growth. It's good to have growth over the months. I enjoy it, but we do have to follow the rules here. Yesterday, I was doing this, and as people know, my eyes aren't the best eyes, so I can't really see my chat that well. Whenever someone says anything, I try to see it from here, but my screen's very, very far away, so I can barely see it at times. So I was reviewing my videos, because I always review my videos just to make sure I didn't mess up on something. Then I saw something that I agreed upon, which I would never agree upon, and that's the sub for sub thing. I thought it was I'll sub to the channel, say, hey, sure, why not? But no, it was like, if I sub to you, will you sub to me? Like, it was something along those lines. It's like, nah, that's against YouTube guidelines. And sub for sub, even like on Twitch, it doesn't grow your channel. You just get zombie subscribers, or worse, the people that you'll sub to, they'll just unsub you back. So it just doesn't help channel. I'm like the worst person to actually say that, but I did have a big following on Twitch before I stopped doing it back in the day, especially like for fighting games. But sub for sub just doesn't work. It really does not work, and I'm not trying to get this channel like taken away from me. Like, I still have fun doing this channel. This work that I'm doing, it's very, very fun to me. But yeah, sub for sub, it does not work out, and we don't do that here, unfortunately. So, anyways, that's the elephant in the room. I noticed it yesterday. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's no bueno. Anyways, yeah, that's the elephant in the room. Like, I like doing this channel, but we like doing things legitimately here. And again, sub for sub is against the guidelines and can get my channel taken away, especially with all this work I'm doing. Oh my god, that'd be so sad. Because we're going on 10 pages soon. Anyways, I digress. Back to this. And yet none of that matter, and none of that knowledge helps. And I don't even ask for subs. I used to, but it's like, I can't commit because I'm so busy with work these days. Like, tomorrow, like this, I can't even like do anything on YouTube because I gotta do a long shift tomorrow, then do a 12-hour shift from 6 p.m. to 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, God damn. So I just can't commit. So this is like, I upload when I upload, I stream when I stream. So for the people that subscribe, thank you. But I don't really ask for subscribers like that anymore. I just do this. And if someone wants to subscribe, go ahead, subscribe, thank you. But I won't push for subscribers or likes. It's just, let's just enjoy the content if people enjoy it. Okay, anyways, back to this. In fact, it kind of makes it worse if you think about it, and yet none of that knowledge helps. It's because you think you devised the strategies and you just have it just crash down upon you afterwards. In fact, it makes everything worse. Because you being aware of things doesn't mean safety. Because let's just say, we'll use the Hell Hall example again. What if I have to actually go down there? Yeah, and what if I have to go down to get the chemical to get the death mask? Crap, I should have gotten this earlier. Now this hallway is just cringe. Or my personal favorite. Yeah, Pirates Cove's cool. We don't have to worry about Foxy. Oh crap, I get distracted by something. Well, here's Foxy in my face just screaming at me. Well, shit. Awareness doesn't guarantee safety. Awareness doesn't guarantee safety. It actually just brings about dread if you really think about it. Yeah. It breeds dread. It breeds dread. Once you know the sequence, because once you know the sequence, because once you know the sequence, the fear doesn't come from the surprise, but from the wait. From the wait. A good example of that is, you know something's coming, but you can't do anything to stop it. I actually put an in-game example of that. Hold on. You sit there, and knowing something is going. There's a moment in every horror game where you stop reacting and start anticipating. You've learned the rules, the patterns, and the behavior of the world around you. You know that creak of the floor when means something is near. You know which hallway to avoid and devise an alternative paths to avoid it. You begin memorizing the patterns of the animatronics to avoid their piercing screams, and yet none of that knowledge helps. In fact, it makes everything worse. Awareness doesn't guarantee safety. It breeds dread because once you know the sequence, the fear doesn't come from the surprise, but from the wait. You sit there knowing something is going to happen, but are powerless to stop it. It's kind of ironic because I know, like right now, I'm on standby, but I know I gotta go back to work eventually. And it's like, I don't want to go back to work. It's awkward. It's very, very awkward right now. It's because I'm not on the mission per se. I got left behind, so it's like, yeah, we might need you to do something here. And I'm like, I don't want to do stuff because the stuff that we have to do when we're left behind is not fun, not fun at all. Yeah, we need you to go make sure the rocks don't get sunburned or some crazy nonsense like that. You know something, you sit there knowing something is gonna happen, but powerless to stop it. You're no longer afraid. You're no longer afraid. You're no longer afraid of the unknown. You're no longer afraid of the unknown. But of the known. You're afraid of the known. Of the known. Of the inevitable. No. I've been avoiding. Oh, shit. I really don't want to. Alright, I'll use FNAF here. Games like. I want to say this for the case studies, but I need to give an actual good example here. So, games like FNAF. Weaponize this perfectly. Because. I'll use Foxy again. You know Foxy... You know Foxy will run eventually. You know Foxy will run eventually. You know power is draining. You know. You know something will inevitably distract you. I get distracted in FNAF a lot. Games like FNAF weaponize this perfectly. You know Foxy will run eventually. You know power is draining. You know something that will inevitably distract you. And yet each time it feels new. Yes, and yet each time it feels new. Because the mechanics are predictable. The mechanics are predictable. The mechanics are predictable. The mechanics are predictable. But your brain... Yeah, but your brain... It's those... But your brain treats them. I'm gonna do an analogy here. Yeah, I can do an analogy. I'm allowed to be at least cringy once per stream in everything that I do. All right, so let's see. And yet each time it feels new. The mechanics are predictable, but your brain treats them. Oh, okay, I got something. Like an incoming storm. Uncontrollable, yet familiar. Like an incoming... Wow, strong. Familiar, yet uncontrollable. Familiar... I cannot spell today. Yeah, familiar, but uncontrollable. Each time, and yet each time it feels new. The mechanics are predictable, but your brain treats them like an incoming storm. Familiar but uncontrollable. Oh my god, it's so cringy. Because we can prepare, we can react, but we'll never feel like we're truly ready. You can prepare. No, you prepare, react, and never feel ready. Never feel ready. This becomes a loop. This becomes a loop. Yes, this becomes a loop. Cycle. A cycle that feeds on its own predictability. Okay. Okay, let's read this out. Let's read this out loud and see what we have so far. Give me one moment. Just gotta make sure you're not texting me. Sorry about that. Okay. There's a moment in every horror game where you stop reacting and start anticipating. You've learned the rules, the patterns, and the behavior of the world around you. You know that creak on the floorboard means something is near. You know which hallway to avoid and devise alternative paths to avoid it. You begin memorizing the pattern of the animatronics to avoid their piercing screams, and yet none of that knowledge helps. In fact, it makes everything worse. Awareness doesn't guarantee safety. It breeds dread because once you know the sequence, the fear doesn't come from the surprise but from the weight. You sit there, knowing something is going to happen, but are powerless to stop it. You know you're no longer afraid of the unknown. You're afraid of the known, of the inevitable. Games like FNAF weaponize this perfectly. You know Foxy will run eventually. You know power is draining. You know that something will inevitably distract you, and yet each time it feels new. The mechanics are predictable, but your brain treats them like an incoming storm, familiar but uncontrollable. Oh my god, that's so cringy. I'm allowed to do this. You prepare, but you prepare, react, but never feel ready. This becomes a loop, a cycle that feeds on its own predictability. Honestly, I think that's good. I think that's really good so far. But we don't need to go that crazy into the details here. Like, we've done enough, so let's actually wrap this little section up. Again, just because I'm writing stuff down doesn't mean it'll make it into the final product. It's better to be over-prepared than not prepared at all. So we're on 9 pages now. So once I do my final like review of all this, I'll see what I'm gonna keep. But for the most part, I think I might actually keep everything. We'll make this like a full-blown like feature-length video. This will probably be an hour long. I kid you not, because I'm trying to include a horror movie analysis on top of this as well. So we'll see. But I don't know if I'm gonna have. I didn't chance it though. I'm just talking to myself. Don't mind me. It's because again, I'm on duty. I'm actually really on duty right now, but I'm on standby, so I should probably go check in and see what the hell's going on. All right, so let's finish this section up. I'll go check in with work just to make sure they don't need me for anything, and I'll take a little break just to be on the safe side. But again, I never streamed this early, but it's just circumstances that are out of my control allowed me to stream this early, and we got something done. So up to 10. Later on tonight, I'll be doing another one of this, and I gotta do sprite animation today too. So yeah, but tomorrow definitely I can't stream because I have a lot of work to do, IRL work, because I do 3 shifts on top of doing a 12-hour shift from like 6 p.m. to 6 o'clock in the morning. But I have a 4-day weekend because of Columbus Day, so from Thursday to Monday I'm off. So we'll get a lot of stuff done. Okay. I need a good way to end this. Horror isn't always about chaos. Horror isn't always about chaos. I never use chaos. Sometimes it's about the structure. Yeah, sometimes it's about structure. I'm going to give an example here. You begin listening to the groans in the distance. Because if I remember years ago when Markiplier was playing FNAF, he came up with this weird, crazy, wonky strategy to actually fully beat the game on. I'm like, yo, holy shit, this rhythm is like crazy. So can I use that? Horror isn't about chaos. Sometimes it's about structure. You begin listening to the groans in the distance. You begin devising strategies. Yeah, there you go. You begin making strategies in order to survive, in order to accomplish your goals. Like, to be honest, like, I'll use myself as an example. If I'm playing RE1 Remake, Mansion 1 is just pretty much cleanup duty. I am securing my pathway so I don't have to deal with the bullshit later on. Zombies, I'm killing you. Y'all getting burned. I'm not dealing with Crimson Heads. No. I don't need absurd hitboxes in my life. But yes, you start making strides in order to accomplish your goals. Like, from the beginning of Spencer Mansion all the way till Yawn, it's like, yeah, I'm just cleaning up stuff. You begin living in the rhythm of your own dread. Heck, you're not supposed to do it. When the danger finally passes, when the danger finally passes, your body doesn't calm down. Your body doesn't calm down. You begin anticipating the next. Awareness. Awareness. Awareness is supposed to help you survive. Awareness is supposed to help you survive. But in horror, But in horror, it becomes the thing that breaks you. Yes, but in horror, breaks you. $10 o'clock. Okay. Um, when you know too much. Yes, when you know too much. You start living in fear. You start living in fear. You start living in fear. Not of what is, but what's about to be. Okay. But I definitely need to probably get back there, so let's read this, and I think we should be good to go. So, again, I never streamed this early, but favorable circumstances happened today. So, but no, it's technically favorable, but unfavorable because tomorrow I can't do anything, like at all. So, there's a moment in every horror game where you stop reacting and start anticipating. You learn the rules, the patterns, and the behavior of the world around you. You know that the creak of the floorboard means something is near. You know which hallway to avoid and devise alternative paths to avoid it. You begin memorizing the pattern of the animatronics to avoid their piercing screams, and yet none of that knowledge helps. In fact, it makes everything worse. Awareness doesn't guarantee safety, it breeds dread, because once you know the sequence, the fear doesn't come from the surprise, but from the wait. You sit there, knowing that something is going to happen, but are powerless to stop it. You are no longer afraid of the unknown, you're afraid of the known, of the inevitable. Games like FNaf weaponize this perfectly. You know Foxy will run eventually. You know power is draining. You know that something will inevitably distract you. And yet, each time, it feels new. The mechanics are predictable, but your brain treats them like an incoming storm. Familiar, but uncontrollable. Oh my god. You prepare, you react, but never feel ready. This becomes a loop. A cycle that feeds on its own predictability. Horror isn't about chaos. Sometimes it's about structure. You begin listening to groans in the distance. You begin making strategies in order to accomplish your goals. You begin living in the rhythm of your own dread. When the danger finally passes, your body doesn't calm down. You begin anticipating the next threat, the next sign that something is wrong. Awareness is supposed to help you survive, but in horror, it becomes the thing that breaks you. When you know too much, you start living in fear of not of what is, but what it's about to be. I like it. Good. All right, good stuff. So again, like I mentioned earlier, I live in the room. I do apologize. I wasn't really looking at I couldn't really see my screen like that. I just saw the whole, the sub thing. I'm like, oh, sure, why not? I wasn't aware that someone was requesting sub for sub. Like, this channel is just for funsies at the end of the day. It's something good to do to get away from the stresses of IRL work. My job is very, very stressful. So I don't request subs or anything of the like. If anybody likes this content, it's good stuff. I have fun doing this. I love doing the sprite animations. I love doing these lore things. I love putting my degree that I got years ago to work. So it is what it is. But unfortunately, I don't want to get this channel taken away. And sub for sub stuff is against YouTube guidelines. So, and it doesn't really help your channel grow at all. So as long as people are getting something out of this channel, regardless of my sub count or likes or what have you, I feel like that's a victory at the end of the day. So I don't push for stuff like that. If someone enjoys this content, good stuff. But yeah, I do apologize for that. When I was looking over my stream from yesterday, I'm like, ah, shit. That's yeah, we don't do that here. This is Wakanda. We don't do that here. But anyways, good stuff. We got some things done today. If I'm available later on, I'll do another one of these streams. But I definitely gotta do sprite animation because I didn't get a chance to do that yesterday. So, all right. Anyways, I gotta get back to work. I gotta see if they need me. I'll see people later. Have a good rest of your day. If I don't see you.